Hi there, I'm Christopher Dunnigan. This is HandmadeInVermont.com, and today we're talking about the Hubbardton Forge Derby Small Pendant. This is the 131040. This is the smaller of the two sizes. There's also multiple versions of this as well as a sconce, so check those all out. This is a collaboration between Hubbardton Forge and a number of other amazing vendors that come together to put together this really great fixture. So let's get into the height and the size of it to begin with. And this is going to be independent of what it's hanging from in the beginning. So we're talking about the width on it is coming in at 10.9. The distance from the front to the back is coming in at 10. And that globe by itself is basically a 10-inch globe. So it gives you an idea of what the size of that is. Now overall height, that's the distance from the bottom of the fixture, bottom of that globe, to the ceiling itself. And it's going to give you 3 fixed lengths to start with as standard products. So the shortest one's going to be 31 inches from the ceiling to the bottom of that globe, bottom of fixture, and then 42.5 is going to be the middle one called standard, and then longer than that, the long, is going to be 56.7. If you need this to be shorter than the short or longer than the long, drop us a quick email. Let us know what you're looking at, a 131040, and tell us what you want. Remember, it's going to be a fixed number. So it could be 60 inches overall height, 90 inches, 110. We take your email, send it through Hubbardton Forge's customs department where it comes back with an answer. Adds a little time and money, but we do customs every day. Let's touch on the glass really quick. It's using Hubbardton Forge's Opal glass. That's an opaque white glass. I'll be talking more about that later in the video. And like I said before, it's a 10-inch globe. This is slope ceiling adaptable one way to 45 degrees. So if you're using this on a slope ceiling, you might want to touch base with me. You can send pictures so we can kind of go over to make sure this is going to be able to be used in your application, and it probably will be without a problem. Okay, why don't we talk about a couple other things? Why don't we talk about the leather on this? So this leather is coming from a company called Spinneybeck, and Spinneybeck is one of the world's premier leather companies. I'm going to put a link on the page for this so you can go visit Spinneybeck and check and see what they're all about. 3 different colors are going to be available for this, and you're going to be able to choose from British brown. That's going to be the first one, and after that we're looking at chestnut, and after that we are looking at black. So you've got 3 beautiful leathers to play with. So the accent on this, and the accent's going to be these medallions that are going to be on the ends of the globes themselves where the leather comes down, as well as all of the little pieces on it that are going to be in metal. Remember, your canopy up in the ceiling is going to be in black, but everything else is going to be what's called that accent color. So you've got 2. You've got a silver one called polished nickel, and then you have antique brass, which is going to be on the golden side. So there you go. And then those medallions on each side, each end of that globe are going to be available 2 ways. So you can have the Hubbardton Forge logo if you want that, or you can just go with a blank one and it just has a design on it. So logo or no logo, they both look great. Now, why don't we talk into a couple of the things? Oh, you know what? Part of this whole collaboration is also including the people who do the stitching of the leather. And how this whole thing works is you basically have that canopy up in the ceiling. That canopy is holding a transformer that's transforming your line voltage down into low voltage, and a driver for the LEDs. And that's going to send that electricity through a very tiny little wire, 2 of them, a positive and a negative, that are embedded inside that leather. So it's really incredible. And that's produced by a company called Appalachian Stitching. So they're a New England company as well, so Hubbardton's providing jobs all over the place up here. But it's really amazing how they kind of hide those wires inside. You never even know they're there. So it's kind of like a magic act on their side. Okay, so why don't we hit a couple other things here. Let's talk about the weight of the fixture itself, 10.5 pounds. And something really important we should talk about is the canopy up in the ceiling, and that is 8.8 inches in diameter. It is about that thick. Remember, it's holding the transformer and driver, so it needs to be a little bit on the thicker side. And I want to show you information about the inside of that and how it goes on your 4-inch junction box. And how we're going to do that is we're going to look at the installations instructions. So if you're on the page for this on Handmade in Vermont, look over that side of the screen midway down. You're going to see a link. It's going to say click here for installations, instructions, PDF. So open that up for me. It's going to show you a full parts list, how it easily goes together, but it's also going to show you some nice detailed line drawings of a couple things, like the inside of this, the setup for the LEDs. It's also going to show you how it goes on your junction box and what the inside of that canopy looks like. So take advantage of those. They're on all the Hubbardton Forge pages that we do, so they're always there for you. As far as how much light you're going to get out of this, you're going to get a lot. So this is 8 watts LED, that's quite a bit, producing 520 lumens. The color of the light coming out of it is that nice warm white called 3000 Kelvin. That's the light coming down on my hand, so it's going to be this nice warm glow. People use this in places like for tasks. A lot of people are going to put this over kitchen islands, maybe flanking mirrors coming down from the ceiling in a bathroom. Each side of you would be great. Also, this looks great in a stairway. There's lots of applications for it, as well as multiple versions of this. So there's one of these that can go over your dining room table that has a whole bunch of these globes. It's also one that's a sconce, and that's actually going to come down and it's a flattened globe, which is kind of cool too. Check them all out. They're all on our site. Okay. So another important thing is this is a dimmable fixture. So when you're installing this, make sure you tell your installer you're using a dimmable LED so they use the correct dimmer on the wall for you. I want to touch base on Hubbardton Forge's opal glass for just a second. So all of Hubbardton Forge's glass to begin with is going to be hand blown. This piece is hand blown first in clear, then they're going to come in and they're going to blow another layer of white glass on the inside of this. The third step is they're going to take and they're going to sandblast the whole thing on the inside and the outside. That's going to give you this beautiful, mellow, translucent, milky piece of glass. When you look at this and you can see the layers are actually piled up on the inside of this. Hubbardton Forge is very obsessed about details on all of their pieces, including their glass, and that's why you're here, because you're probably just as obsessed about little details as well. Okay, showroom. Our showroom in Vermont has over 400 Hubbardton Forge fixtures. This is the biggest showroom in the world of Hubbardton Forge. No other showroom is like this. Hubbardton Forge doesn't even have their own showroom. They use this one. What's on display? We have a great tab on that. And those same red tabs, you're going to see a What's on Display page. So open that up. It's going to show you everything we have on display, and including which finish, which shade, all of those things, and what kind of glass it's on there. We're open every day except Sunday, 11 to 6. I'm here every day except Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We also have an amazing clearance center. Clearance center stuff is 75% off MSRP. It's returns, discontinued stuff, showroom samples. You have to come here to use it. Can't call us or email us about it, but it's definitely worth coming in to look at if you're in Vermont. Plus, you want to use the showroom anyway because there's just so much great stuff here to see. Our number in Vermont, 802-446-2400. You can email us 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Love to answer emails, and it's sales@HandmadeInVermont.com. So when you order from HandmadeInVermont.com, shipping is going to be free to every state except Alaska and Hawaii. No tax if we ship out of the state of Vermont. And we're the only dealer with 90-day returns, no restocking fee. Nobody else does that. Some larger items are going to be non-returnable. It's going to be really important that you are looking at the fixture on that page and kind of scroll down under the description. It'll tell you if that is the case. And that's usually for really big, giant, huge fixtures, mostly that go out on pallets. Okay, that's it. Rush program. Let's talk about that. So rush program, Hubbardton Forge generally takes about 3 to 4 weeks to go out the door. That's production time before your transit time. You always have to add that on too. We offer a rush program that takes you from that 3 to 4 weeks down to a little under 2 weeks. It's a very small addition per line item. So if you have like 1, 2, 3 items, like let's say 3 or 4 outdoor sconces, and they're all the same size and they're all the same finish, that's one line item. So it's very inexpensive to rush those kind of things. Don't be afraid to email us and ask about that. Okay, so that's really it. If you guys have any other questions, let us know. We would love to see you in our showroom sometime. And thanks for stopping in.